And that leads us to this. Is your homeowner's insurance about to get more expensive? State Farm wants an emergency rate hike, a 22% increase. We could know if this increase is granted in a matter of days. On Monday, State Farm asked regulators for this emergency increase in response to those LA County wildfires. State Farm says it's already paid out more than $1 billion in fire-related claims and expect that number to rise. They say this wildfire will be the costliest in the company's history. Now, here's what State Farm is asking for. Take a look. It wants to raise homeowner policies statewide, so that includes the Bay Area, by more than 20%. Renters and condo owners, a raise of 15%, and rental properties up 38%. Joining us now is Carmen Balber, the Executive Director of Consumer Watchdog. That's a nonprofit that advocates on behalf of consumers here in California. Carmen, thanks for being with us. Does your group, just to be clear here, have a seat at the table, a say in any of this?
Sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. We hear you now.
California insurance law says that consumers can review and challenge rate increases in California. So Consumer Watchdog is at the table in the discussions with the Department of Insurance and State Farm about whether or not this request is justified.
Okay, that's good. That's good to know. And say you or someone in your organization says, "Hold on, we don't like that." Do they have any recourse? Do you have any recourse? Do they have to listen to you?
They have to give the public a seat at the table. We're right now in the process saying what State Farm has to do under state law is justify the request they're making. That means they have to open up their books and show the numbers that prove that under state law this rate increase is justified. So far, they have not provided those numbers. In fact, they've said that it's not that they cannot pay their claims. They anticipate being able to do that. They want consumers to help rebuild their bank accounts. And frankly, we think that's appalling. It is not appropriate for State Farm to be going to California homeowners, some of whom have just lost their homes, to rebuild their bank account.
That is sobering and very alarming what you're saying. Is State Farm struggling at all financially, or is this perhaps an opportunity just for them to be more profitable and, like you said, fill in their coffers a little more?
I think both things. State Farm says its surplus has gone down in California, and that's true. But the question is why the company's surplus went down. In fact, the company has profited on the homeowners line of insurance in California, and at the same time has been sending billions of dollars out of state to its parent company. We are certain that the parent company has the money to pay the bills because they've got $190 billion in the bank in their surplus. When other state subsidiaries of State Farm got in trouble, the parent company stepped in. We think that's what should happen here in California if State Farm needs the money.
All right, Carmen, if there is a rate hike, whether it's 22%, 20%, 10%, 2%, whatever, when's that going to be approved if it happens, and how fast would we see our bills go up?
There's no process for this because it's completely outside of California law, so I can't say exactly when it would happen because there are no deadlines. The insurance commissioner could act in 2 days, or he could follow the law and require State Farm to open its books, justify what it's asking for before increasing any rates. So it could be soon, it could be far down the road.
Final question for you. What about other companies, AAA, Progressive, and so on? Are they kind of waiting to see what happens here?
I don't think other companies will do anything immediately, but the insurance commissioner would set a very bad precedent for other companies if he gave in to State Farm's bullying and approved a rate hike before the justification came in. So we're hoping the commissioner doesn't take that action. Unfortunately, he's shown in the past he's ready to fold to insurer demands.
All right, we will check back in with you because this is important to a whole lot of people. Carmen Balber with the Consumer Watchdog Agency. Thanks for your time. Have a good evening.
You here.
One more note before we move on. We also reached out to State Farm about this emergency rate hike request. It did not answer our questions. State Farm did not, and a spokesperson referred us to a post about the request on the State Farm website. We also reached out to the California Insurance Department today, and we are still waiting for a response.